Hey guys, so my name's Anthony Gonzalez, and this is my 2019 Marin San Quentin 1. Today we're going to be going over what I like about the bike, what I dislike, what I've upgraded, and just my overall thoughts on this bike. So first thing I wanted to say, I love the bike. I rode a Cannondale Cujo plus tire hardtail for a year. Went to a 2019 stump jumper. I'm a hardtail guy, so I ended up selling it and using that money to get this bike and do all my upgrades. So that is to say that I do really like this bike. So the first thing I wanted to bring up was the difference between the San Quentin 1 and the San Quentin 2, because in the United States you really can't find a San Quentin 3. I bought my bike at Performance Bike. They didn't have any more San Quentin 2s, and I don't know if you know this, but the owner is going bankrupt, so they're closing down the shop, so they can't order a San Quentin 2. But the difference between the two, the main thing is the frame. The frame's geometry and everything's the same, but the San Quentin 2 does use, that's my dog Capone, the San Quentin 2 does use a better aluminum. I'll get to that, later, but my recommendation is if they have a 1 and a 2, because of the upgrades I've put on this bike, I would recommend going for a San Quentin 2 if they have it. Beyond that, same geometry, great bike, just a little heavier and not quite as soft as a ride. My first upgrade that I did on this bike was my dropper post. I made sure, because my stump jumper did not have a dropper post, I made sure that this one did. It was $279. It's the SDG Stellus. I can say that I really like this dropper post. It's smooth, no problems. I've only ridden it 3 or 4 times, but it's smooth. It's, I believe, like 120 mil travel. I could give you the exact answers later. Zero problems. There's no crazy adjustments. There's no mid-travel, things like that. It's just up and down, very smooth. The trigger feels nice. I like it. The next upgrade that I did was the tires. I had the Swalby Hansdamp 2.35, and they were not tubeless ready, so I went with the Maxxis Minion 2.5s, which actually came out to be less wide than the 2.35 Swalbs, but I guess that's pretty normal. Set it up tubeless with orange seal. So I don't know the difference between stands and orange seal. I do know that orange seal got great reviews. I don't know the difference. It was just on sale at Jensen, and that's what I got. The difference between these tires and the Schwalbes is that these do have more grip. I was always a person that never really wanted Maxxis because everybody had it. I will say that these tires have a ton of grip, and it's amazing. I've never climbed stuff that I've climbed on these tires. And stop biting the couch. I've never climbed stuff that I've climbed on these tires. They're really grippy going downhill. I just wish they were fatter. If I would have known that they wouldn't be close to plus tires, I would have gone 2.6. So that's my next project later on once these tires wear out. On to the next upgrade. I went with the Chinese knockoff Fuker pedals of the Race Face Chesters. I've always bought these pedals. They're the same darn things as the Chesters. I would definitely save the extra $21 and buy these pedals over the Chesters. They work the same. My next thing I'm talking about will be the stock fork. So this is another reason why I say buy the San Quentin 2 over the San Quentin 1, is this fork. Very heavy, feels almost rigid. If you look at the travel, I've ridden some pretty gnarly stuff on this bike, and that's all the travel I've used, half of it. And I'm 200 pounds, and this fork did not budge. It is terrible. It always sits there in the middle of the sag right when you get on the bike. It doesn't go up or down. It's just This is the worst fork I've ever used. It is a coil fork. Has a through axle, but I had to get rid of it immediately. The San Quentin 2 comes with a RockShox Recon. I believe 130 or 120 millimeters of travel. It's an air fork. It's better than this one. Next thing I wanted to talk about was the Suntour upgrade program. I heard about it. Wasn't sure if it was worth going through the company because I've never really ridden much Suntour products. But it's a company trying to get their face out there and advertise some of their new components, their higher end components. Basically, if you bought the bike brand new and you have the receipt and it comes with a Suntour fork, you send them the receipt, you send them the part number of the old fork, and they'll send you a coupon immediately within 24 hours where you get a big discount on some of their forks on their website, and they tell you which list of forks. I got $100 off of a $300 fork, so I got this for $199. It's the Suntour XCR 34. I guess it has the speed compression adjustments. It has a lockout. It's got 3 different settings, 100, 120, 130, but you could only adjust that with adjusting the internals. It is an air fork. I do like this better than the Recon that came on my stump jumper. It has a low and high speed adjustment. Let me find that. It's on this side. And I like it because it feels a lot like, the Fox dampeners, where the RockShox Recon only has 3 settings. This has multiple settings of speed dampeners. This fork can do plus tires up to 3.0, 29-inch wheels. For $199, I set this up yesterday, took it on a ride, and it feels a lot better than the RockShox Recon. It's a really nice fork for only $200. I'm really surprised with the 34 millimeter stanchions. On top of that, my next upgrade is the Cane Creek 40 headset. That was not my choice, but the shop said that I needed it to fit this fork in. Not necessarily the Cane Creek brand, but I figured it's $79 for the Cane Creek headset with sealed cartridge. You'll never have to maintenance it. 40-year warranty, no questions asked. Or pay $50 for a cheaper brand that's not sealed, having to deal with the ball bearings and the maintenance once in a while. What the heck, I spent the money and bought the Cane Creek. No performance upgrades, it just looks cooler and is a little more reliable than a stock headset or something like that. Alright, so let's get to the next thing. What I like about the bike, what I'm still going to change, or what I can change, or what I would change, and so on and so forth. I bought this bike because of the geometry. It's crazy. Like, I wanted an enduro hardtail. It's got a 65-degree head angle. I don't know the seat tube angle. It's slack. I love the way it sits. It's not hard to climb on whatsoever. I did have my stem raised a little bit when I got the new fork. It's very comfortable. This is an XL. It feels more like a large. I'm surprised that they call this an XL, but I'm 6'1", got long legs. If you're debating between a large and extra large, definitely get an extra large. This sits more like a large bike. I like the way that it's got a very short chainstay. It's very flickable. I do like the way these Maxxis tires handle. It's not quite like Plus tires, but I do run about 21 PSI. I know they say that's kind of dangerous. I don't care. I like it softer, squishier on a hardtail. The geometry is my favorite thing about this bike. You have a lot of confidence going downhill on rocky, chunky stuff. I live in Arizona, so you definitely need a lot of confidence on some of this stuff out here. The other difference between the San Quentin 1 and San Quentin 2 is this only has internal cable routing for the dropper post. So I could show you it right there. The rest is all external cable routing, where the San Quentin 2 and 3, yeah, San Quentin 2 and 3 have internal for the frame. For everything else, that's one thing that I wish this one had. It does have Shimano Acera drivetrain 1x9. It has a 36 tooth granny gear. It's okay. It works fine. Teaches me to climb faster. Hey, chill. Teaches me to climb a little faster. Get used to it. It's not a big deal, but drivetrain has never been my biggest complaints on any bikes. I've demoed expensive bikes. I've had Shimano XTs and all that stuff. Still have problems where cheap ones have been fine for me. So I'm probably not going to upgrade the drivetrain anytime soon. The next thing I am going to do though is the brakes. These are the Tektro brakes. I forgot what they're called. 180, 160. I had these on my Cannondale Cujo. Hated them. They just aren't very strong, especially the rear brake. So I'm going to upgrade to some Shimano SLXs, and I'll be honest, I believe that's the only thing I'm going to do to this bike. I wish it had a through axle in the rear. I mean, that's something that I'll see if I even care about later on. My stump jumper had a through axle. My Cannondale did not have a through axle. I don't really care right now for that. Might change my mind later. But love this bike. Love the width of the bars. I love the geometry. A little heavy for a hardtail, but that's because I got the lower model. If you buy a San Quentin 2, you'll get a little bit lighter bike, a little bit better riding aluminum. I love it. I'm going to keep this bike forever. I'm going to do all the upgrades. That's what I wanted to do, is get my hardcore hardtail, and with this bike I got it.